Okay, so here's another comparison video, but this video is actually shorter than my typical comparison video simply because these two are kind of one and the same, right? Except we have some key differences that we want to highlight here. Let's jump into it. So the Galaxy Tab S7 lineup is obviously Samsung's latest flagship of tablets, right? And it is formed, of course, of the regular Galaxy Tab S7, or just the Galaxy Tab S7, and the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus that we have here. Now, they do share tons of similarities, many of which would be actually found on the software side of things. And they also do share some key differences, mainly on hardware. And these key differences overall make for almost two separate user experience. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the similarities found on both of these tablets. You know, starting off with the chipset, they both have that Snapdragon 865 Plus chipset coupled with 6 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of base internal storage, both expandable via micro SD card at up to 1 terabyte. They also have Android 10 loaded here and the very well integrated Samsung One UI sitting on that. Navigation is buttery smooth, like I always say on both tablets. They're both blazing fast, snappy, and these are true productivity machines, right? They are really powerful. Whether you're running a professional or a productivity app or running just some heavy task on here, you will have zero performance issues, right? None whatsoever. Plus, if you want to boost that productivity, depending on the type of tasks that you are trying to complete here, you have the infamous Samsung Dex that would actually take, you know, your productivity level to another level, right? Especially if you add access of a keyboard and a mouse. Now let's highlight one of the key differences here. The size. The Tab S7 Plus is boasting a 12.4 inches Super AMOLED display. And like I've said before, it feels like a small TV, and I'm not even joking, it's huge. You can see me whipping it around like I'm doing here, and it doesn't seem like it's much, but this thing is gigantic. I mean, look at it compared to this guy. It is, oops. It's huge, and this thing almost feels like a small flat screen TV. It is massive, right? It's really, really big, and it's pushing a resolution of 1752 by 2800. Image quality is top notch. It's crazy sharp. It's HDR10 plus capable, and it's just beautiful, just to keep it in simple terms. The Tab S7 on the other hand is boasting an 11-inch LCD screen with 1600 by 2560, and it's actually more pixel dense than the Tab S7 Plus display here at 274 ppi. Plus it's pushing 500 nits, so definitely brighter than the screen on the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus. Image quality is excellent on here. Samsung did a fantastic job with that. They both support high refresh rate at 120 Hz, and that makes for just a wonderful user experience using either one of these tablets, scrolling through pages or gaming or even for watching movies. Now, speaking of watching movies, the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus offers a fantastic experience. Now, you would expect that, right? You know, it's an AMOLED display. It's huge, like I said, it's massive, and it has these speakers that are super loud, louder than the Tab S7 speaker. You know, they're both tuned by AKG, but definitely fuller. I mean, you get full sound with Tab S7 also. It's just louder, you know, and still very clean sound. So it does take that user experience to another level. On the outside here, you can see that it's pretty much the same design, right? And beyond just the size there, you have some of these differences with the Tab S7 actually having a physical fingerprint sensor. So that physical fingerprint sensor is embedded in that power button on the Tab S7, right? So it's more of a combo of a fingerprint sensor and power button. But on the Tab S7 Plus, the fingerprint scanner is actually an in-display scanner. So you don't have a physical fingerprint sensor on the Plus. Now, in terms of speed, I do find the physical fingerprint sensor to be faster, even, I don't know, you know what? I gotta take that back. It's really fast on the S7 here, but the Tab S7 Plus, I would say it's almost just as fast. It's really quick at unlocking this tablet, but it still doesn't change the fact that I generally just prefer physical fingerprint sensors. Now, besides that, you get the same stuff on both tablets, the USB Type-C, the different mics around the tablet, the SD card slot, the same camera, and so forth. So for the camera, of course, it'll be that same 13 megapixel wide sensor, 5 megapixel ultra wide sensor, and that main camera can push 4K at 30 frames per second. Now in the front, you have pretty much the same selfie camera, or the same front-facing camera, you know, 8 megapixel front-facing camera that can do 1080p at 30 frames per second. Picture quality is nice on both tablets. Battery life, despite having a larger battery on the AMOLED display, the Tab S7 Plus will offer a slightly shorter battery life when compared to the Tab S7. You're looking at roughly 14 hours of playback time here with and this is the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus. That is advertised by Samsung to be roughly 14 hours, whereas the regular Tab S7, you are looking at roughly 15 hours of playback time. Now, it's kind of interesting because generally, you know, with the AMOLED display, you would have them last a little bit longer, but you know, this is it's a massive display, and it has other things that are just consuming that battery. Now the S Pen is that same very comfortable to use modern S Pen by Samsung here. So pretty much the same features on either one of these tablets with the ability to customize some of the features. It's still one of the best tablet pencils that I've ever used. So with all of that being said, what are you missing if you go for the regular Tab S7 here? Well, you know, if you don't have the Tab S7 Plus, nothing really, right? Because you don't know what it's like to use this huge thing. Now, but if you were to compare, or if you're acting, you know, pragmatically, what you're missing is that AMOLED display, which is beautiful. Like I said, it's a slightly different user experience that will be offered by this one, the Tab S7 Plus. And again, it will be because of the AMOLED display and also the speaker's volume. But unless you have both to compare and really see that main difference, you are likely to be very satisfied with the Galaxy Tab S7 and what it has to offer. But then again, the reality is that having a Tab S7 Plus is pretty much having the regular Tab S7 at another level, right? Well, I hope you found this informative and that this helps your purchasing decision. Now, if you have any questions or any comments, please make sure to drop those in the comment section. I'm gonna make sure I get to you. I'm always getting to my comments, so I'm gonna make sure I get to those comments as soon as possible. As always, of course, don't forget to like, subscribe. I'm gonna catch you in the next video also. And up until then, of course, stay safe out there.